shenanigans, truth, lies, shenanigans, shenanigans, truth, lies, shenanigans, truth, lies, shenanigans, truth, lies, shenanigans. Tune in to TLS. Yeah, tune in to TLS. It's the TLS show. Coming to you live from the TLS show.
Hey, welcome to Truth, Lies, Shenanigans podcast. Social commentary, hot topics, amazing guests with a ton of fun and shenanigans along the way. Today's show, we're talking about librarians in Arkansas who almost got their faces put on most wanted posters for handing out books. Then we're going to be asking, should there be an expiration date on our politicians like Mitch McConnell? We're also discussing gold diggers and also diving into ethics of your spouse having your baby after you die. If it's your first time tuning in, we record live on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern. You can watch us live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch TV, and TruthLiesShenanigans.com. But we'll be checking your comments on YouTube and Facebook. Just search at TLS Live Show. And our official podcast, our audio podcast, is available on Fridays on Apple Podcasts, podsnetwork.com, that's PODZ, or anywhere you listen to your podcasts. All right, let me introduce you to my co-hosts today. First up, we have our nature lover, gamer, and the rock star coming to you from Ontario, Canada, Rock B. Rock.
What's up, my friends? Happy Wednesday. So it has been a great week with family. We had a lovely dinner with my mom. We celebrated birthday with my father-in-law. We played in the pool, went berry picking with the little ones. It's just been great. And yeah, this weekend I'm going to be seeing some family for a celebration of life, but we're going to be seeing family and also going to be visiting other family at a provincial park while they rent a cabin. So it's
Very nice.
it's been busy. It's been good. Yeah, connecting with a lot of love, and that's pretty fantastic.
So a celebration
That's
of
always
life.
the best. Yeah.
I love the way you put it that way.
Yeah. I had to
It's,
understand it for a second.
I think it's a wonderful shift that I'm starting to see in North American culture, that we're not doing funerals, the lamentations, that there is a focus on celebrating someone's life, because that really is
Yes.
the sum of our accomplishments, right?
By the way,
Exactly right.
Paulette Bertrand says hello.
Hey, Mom.
All right, college student, model, business owner, streaming from Atlanta, Georgia, Johnny Storm.
Hey guys.
Hey,
So
Jen.
I've missed you. It's been a very busy week. I've been booked and busy, okay? But here's
Booked and
a
busy.
little forewarning for you guys who are trying to hire a house cleaner. Please put your
Ooh.
weird personal shit away. Sorry, excuse my language. Put your weird stuff away. Put your stuff away that could be offensive or that is just personal. Just put it up.
What are
in
you
a
talking
drawer
about?
or-
What are we talking about? You know I'm going to
I
ask.
mean,
Are we talking about what
but-
dildos and what?
this week especially was really
clearly.
traumatizing. I mean, yeah, but no, I've seen dildos long time ago.
Okay, so
But,
what are we talking about specifically that was
Okay.
traumatizing?
So I went to like a devil worshippers house, and so there was like blood, like
Did you
real
say
blood.
devil's worshippers house?
Yeah. I didn't know until I saw the pictures and like the candles, and I didn't know. Okay, we don't always vet the clients, but
Now,
it was.
did you have a conversation with these clients about your suspicion? Did you get verification of your suspicion?
Didn't even want to.
Yeah, are you sure they're devil worshippers just because they have blood? That
Yeah,
means...
I mean, it could just
No,
be
they
any
had
occult. I mean, they
symbolism.
could be in Cthulhu. I mean, it could be anything.
No, it was giving demon.
It's
demon
definitely the
vibes.
devil. All
Yeah,
right.
demon vibes. So you was feeling it. You was feeling it.
And
Did
they had like a tub. In their tub, it was blood, and they had like a recording and a casket.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know what kind of freaky
Alright.
shit they had going on, but just
Alright.
put it up.
All
That's
right.
all I'm saying, guys.
You sold me. You
Do
sold
it.
me. I
Oh,
believe you.
man.
That's
The
Put it
devil
in.
hurt my back very shortly after going into that house and apologizing profusely that I couldn't finish the job.
I mean,
wanted to. I was
Man.
seconds
maybe it was
away.
an actual vampire.
Could be. Could see that actually. There was 3 of them there. Could see that.
You know, hey.
That was. I
All
was
right.
just forewarning. Please do us justice.
Oh,
All right.
man.
All right. Well, my name is Neo Nix. I'm your host, and
And yeah.
it's my 8th anniversary, guys.
Hey, happy
Yeah, me and Mel. I
Happy
can't.
anniversary.
I'm telling you.
Congratulations.
I can't tell you how amazing it is that I found my forever person, because there was a period of time I was like, they're just not out there. They just don't exist. And then
That's true.
there was Mel, and I mean, I'm just lucky. I'm just one of those lucky guys. I mean, we're not the perfect couple. I won't claim that we're the perfect couple. What makes us perfect is we're always working on it. You know, we're always working together. We always, we have each other's back. I mean, yeah. So I always
I
want
know
to
what you're
say,
saying, brother.
Yay.
I know what you're saying.
happy anniversary, my love. Happy anniversary. Hope we have
Nah.
many, many more.
What a sweet guy.
Yes.
Big congratulations from
guys.
George Fournier on that.
Thank you, George. Appreciate that. All right, time to switch gears. Quick word from our sponsor. Are you in search for fresh, high quality podcasts? Please check out Pods Network, PODZ. Truth Lies Shenanigans is a proud member of the Pods Network. If you haven't checked them out yet, you are definitely missing out, because Pods is the place for aspiring podcasts, curious listeners. It's a hub for high quality, up and coming podcasts, making waves and sparking conversations. And we're adding new podcasts almost every week. Sunny Mary Meadows, got Liz Fielder taking you on a journey. She's a florist. She brings you interesting stories of resilience and hope at the same time. Then there's a Sobriety Diaries. Nate Kelly sharing his stories of sobriety. All right. Then again, my favorite is Undiagnosed with Kelly, gives you a glimpse into the world of health mysteries and the fight for answers for those mysteries. And then we've got Wrestling with Heart, talking about wrestling. So if you're looking for fresh, engaging content, head over to Pods, PODZ Network. That's Pods Network for aspiring podcasts, curious listeners. Don't forget, as always, when you get there, download the latest episode of Truth Lies Shenanigans. All right.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right, let's get into the show. Gianni, you're up first. All we got is hot topics today. You want to talk about having babies after you're dead.
This is interesting.
Lies, shenanigans.
Yes. So, in the wake of Ronnie Turner's passing, and if you don't know who Ronnie Turner is, he is an actor, but he's also Tina Turner's son. Ronnie's widow, singer Afida Turner, is discussing how she plans to have a baby within the next year by using the frozen sperm Ronnie left behind as a gift to her. So Afida mentioned this during an interview when revealing that her life in LA became a real nightmare after Ronnie Turner's death. Of course, she actually took a hiatus to Egypt, and now she's going to have Ronnie's baby. So in hopes to give birth to the child, she's going to use IVF, if you guys are familiar, before her 47th birthday on December 22nd. So my question to you guys is, would you want your spouse to move on after you pass, or continue your legacy with a child via IVF?
I'll let you start, Rob.
Cool. So I had really kind of had to give this one some thought and check my ego. I really had to check my ego. So I definitely would want for my spouse to grieve me for an appropriate period and move on. I want her to honor herself. I want her to find love. I want her to pursue her happiness. If she has my genetic material and it was my gift to her, and she wants to make a baby, that is completely up to her. My only hope would be that anyone that she brings into that child's life would meet my seal of approval. But ultimately, if I'm dead, if I've passed on, there's really nothing that I can really experience about it. So at the end of the day,
Yeah.
I love my wife tremendously, and if I passed on before her, I I want her to be happy. That's my ultimate goal for her. That's my ultimate dream for her. And if that would be to have a child with my sperm, then if that's what's going to bring her that joy and love in her life, then so be it. That would be her decision
Okay.
ultimately. She can have both, man.
I'm curious, Rod. So what if it were
I
the
like
other way
that too.
around? Would you
Mm,
would you want to, like, let's say,
good question.
you had some sperm, I mean some
Egg,
embryos or some eggs from your wife. I
frozen
mean, would you
eggs,
consider a
Dude, I had a
surrogate?
surrogate.
vasectomy at 20. I had a vasectomy at 28. Um, and I did it for very specific reasons. I don't want
Okay.
any more children. Also, I'm 50 years old. Why would I do that to myself? Why would I start the cycle all over again? I'm
You're like, for
enjoying
what?
being an uncle. I'm enjoying being a grandfather.
That makes
Um,
sense.
True.
but no,
Fair
it's
enough.
my wife and I got together later on in life when we'd both lived our own, I guess, the first stage of our
Mhm.
lives separately,
Families.
the
Yeah.
learning phase, right? But yeah, no, it's something that
True.
we talk about. That if we used an app at one time to make a composite, and we're very grateful that we
Aw.
did not make little ugly baby Jobert because that was a horrible composite for the two of us. That would have been a fugly child.
Stupid.
Shut up. The child would have been beautiful, please.
I mean,
I really don't believe what the computer did. I don't believe what the internet did.
I don't either. I don't either.
I guess to
They
answer
messed
your
it up.
question, Gianni, would I want her to move on? I
Yeah.
mean, I want her to move on, but you know, if we had embryos or sperm or something saved aside, yeah, I'd be absolutely open to or happy if she had a child. Um, yeah, I think that would be
Okay.
fantastic actually if she chose to do that. I mean, I think it's a personal decision.
Okay.
Some people feel differently. Some people feel like you know they shouldn't. Once you pass on, you know, people shouldn't be making decisions with your genetic material.
Hmm.
I'm in agreement with Rob B. You know,
It's a gift.
once I'm gone, well, no, once I'm gone, what difference does it make? I mean,
Okay.
I'm not here on earth. If she wants to, use it, so what? She wants to use it. If she doesn't want
Okay.
to use it, she tosses it in the trash. Hey, whatever. Who cares? I'm gone. I have no say in it. It, you know, doesn't make me, no, never mind. But I don't know. But again,
That's interesting.
from the other
So,
perspective, though, I mean, would I take my wife's genetic material and try to have a child? I probably would. I
really?
mean, unless I found someone new. Um,
What?
I'm saying I'd just get a surrogate and
You would
say,
have to
hey,
give it a chance.
yeah, but what I'm saying, I mean, because those, let's say they were embryos. I mean, sperm and eggs are totally different, but let's say they're embryos. I mean, I would certainly give them a chance. You know,
Okay.
I mean,
That's
and
interesting.
So, would you do this on your own, or would you want to secure a stable partner before doing that?
Right. Good
and I think it's
thinking,
a little
Rob.
bit different
Good
from the
question.
woman's side versus the man's side, because sperm and
No,
eggs and
because you're either no, because in
No,
either
it's not
instance, you're
different.
taking on the role of being a single parent with your former partner's genetic material.
but
It
what
is
I'm
the
saying is
same
Literally.
slightly
parenting
different.
unit.
But what I'm saying is it's slightly
The
different
process.
because no, it's slightly different because I can't physically have the child. I'd have to actually involve someone else to have
Mhm,
the child. So
Okay.
mhm,
I'd
mhm,
have to
mhm.
either
So
have
why is
another
it different?
partner, a surrogate. I have to have someone else. Whereas a woman can say, "Hey, I could just take the man's sperm and I have my own eggs and I just put it inside myself and I can make some decisions." A little bit
No, no, no,
different.
no, no. It's still going to need a medical team. Still going to need
I
a
mean,
medical
of
team.
course,
It's not a turkey baster in the material. Come on.
of course. I'm not saying that, but
Different processes, but I mean, isn't it the concept the same? Like you're going to be a single parent
concept, but the
unless you
process,
have.
because the decision making process, because again, if I find another partner, you know, I'd probably want to have a child with that partner.
See, and that brings up a very interesting scenario, Neil, because if you were to undertake that with a surrogate and something were to happen to you, during that pregnancy. Something happened. Where does that leave that child
Oh,
that you wanted to bring
interesting.
in to the world?
That's interesting.
And then there's a lot of
Right?
laws around surrogacy and things like that, and
Mm.
it gets
Yeah,
really
she could take that
challenging.
baby.
So it is slightly different from being on the man versus the woman. So I
It
don't know.
is. Yeah.
But with that being said, I would love to have make sure we had a child or something like that. But
That's so
I just want
interesting.
but what do you think, Johnny? Before I get to my other point,
Because I was sure you guys were gonna say like, no, let her move on. Because that's kind of my thought. Like, I think it's weird. I don't know. I mean, I get it, and I think it's sentimental. And if she wants to do it, like she seems to be very passionate about it, of course, and like happy for it. But I just think
How
it's
long
kind
were
of
they
like
together?
strange.
How long were they together? I'm
Um,
just curious.
Good question. We can look it up. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I'm sure a long time. She has his last name. She's a whole Turner out here.
I think they've been around.
I
I think I read that they've been together a while. I don't remember the exact, but it didn't seem like they just got married and she just.
no,
So
no, no.
they have a strong relationship,
They do have a strong relationship, but I don't.
and she
It's
probably
not
is
for me.
devastated.
Yeah, she said it, and she said she even took a hiatus because she couldn't handle like her everyday life. So I understand that, but then wouldn't that kind of bring more of the memory of him passing away, like having a child with him? I don't know.
I, I don't know,
But would
but
it
you got
bring
to
him to
figure.
life?
You got to
Okay.
figure if he froze his sperm,
Yeah.
it had to be for a reason.
And the article
True.
states that it was his gift to her.
Right.
So it
She did
gives
say
her
that.
the option to use it, whether she chooses to or not. And in this scenario, it seems that she's opting to go
Yeah.
for that option. And coming from the Turner family, I'm sure that this child will not go without.
Well, that's the point.
Oh
So,
no.
and that's the point I was about to make. So, and the question I had for you guys, I mean, because it is Tina Turner's son. Tina Turner just died, which means Tina Turner's
Yeah.
son or grandson would inherit a portion of her. I mean, we don't know what's in the will, but potentially could inherit a portion of her estate. So, does the timing seems a little weird? Does it seem like she's trying to, take advantage of Tina
I mean,
Turner's?
It's been a terrible year for the Turner family, so I don't know that she's taking advantage. This is just bad happenstance. I mean, mom and the son.
but he
the
did
same
die
year,
a
that's
year
tough.
ago. He passed away a year ago. But it does take time
Yeah,
to
but
grieve.
if
Like,
you're
don't get me wrong,
grieving,
though. It does take time to grieve.
It
does take
does.
time.
my husband, the love of my life, my husband's dead, put a baby in me. That's nobody's thought.
So neither
No
of
one
you think
healthy
she's
anyway.
taking advantage. You don't think the
No, I don't.
timing? Okay.
Oh,
I mean, I don't think
I think
so.
the time
but
is
it's
a little
really
strange.
Good, it is. It is. You can eye it. Like I would have to read her vibes. She seems cool though. Like we have similar hair. I think she's cool.
oh man!
You gotta color your hair a little bit.
I might do the whole
Oh,
lioness.
Johnny.
It's pretty.
I don't know.
I don't
Looks
know.
like Kubley Brothers are online.
Hey,
Oh, nice.
Richie.
Hey guys.
Richard Kubley says hi. But yeah, so
Awesome.
yeah, I don't know. I think there's some. I don't know. I don't know that I agree with you both. I think there's some. The timing seems a little strange to me. I think there's a little bit of weirdness on there. I think she may be trying to take advantage
You're
of
suspicious
the
of
estate. I'm suspicious of the timing.
She's loaded. She has money already.
Oh, does she?
I'm sure she's won
Yeah,
a French
I mean,
singer.
the
She already has her
child-
own career.
And the child is born after Tina Turner's death, so I don't know if
Yeah, how is he? He might not even.
Yeah.
That's too much of a reach, I think. But there's
Oh.
there's evil people out
Like what
here.
Jacqueline said.
They're evil.
Yeah, Jacqueline Robinson made a great point. So she's in agreement with you guys. It doesn't matter what the timing is. If Tina's last will and testament bequeathed her assets to her husband, it's a moot point.
Did she?
But we don't know.
It went
that.
to her husband.
We don't know
Oh,
that.
okay.
We don't know.
I was gonna say that's insanity.
We don't know. All right. Is this truth, lies, shenanigans?
Truth, lies, shenanigans.
Ooh, this is some
It's
truth
true.
that happened.
I know y'all convinced me there's no shenanigans going on. You guys convinced me. Jacqueline Robinson convinced me. You guys convinced me.
Yeah, Jacqueline
There's no
convinced us.
Thank you,
shenanigans going
Jacqueline,
on.
for driving that final nail. Thank you, Jacqueline.
All right, let's get on the next topic. So, Rob B, you wanted to talk about surprise gold diggers.
Oh, man.
I was trying to make the point of gold diggers. Now you can.
Lies, shenanigans.
So this is a bit of a shocking story that has left authorities and the public stunned. So the beautiful Peaches Sturgo,
He said
Shut up.
beautiful.
Neo, you
36-year-old
did not need to laugh like that.
he did. So this 36-year-old beauty from Florida defrauded an 87-year-old Holocaust survivor that she met on an online dating service between
Right.
2017 and late 2021. So over the course of 4.5 years, she siphoned over $2.8 million from the elderly man and using the money to live a life of luxury. So Sturgo pleaded guilty to wire fraud earlier this year, and recently she was sentenced to 51 months in prison by the U.S. District Judge
Wow.
Edgardo Ramos.
That's so
Yeah.
dumb.
So
Dumb.
this unimaginably cruel scam has raised a lot of questions about the dangers of gold digging and the need for caution in relationships. So, with such a heart-wrenching case making headlines, should gold diggers beware? Is it over for them?
So 4 years, huh? She got 4
Ooh.
years.
Yeah.
Gold diggers will always exist. First of all, that's
I-
since the beginning of time.
Yeah, you're asking as gold diggers. I don't know. I
She
say
just
it's,
did it. She's a horrible person. First,
I
of
say
all.
it's a damn
Sorry, go ahead,
shame.
Neil.
No, I agree with you. It's a damn shame this woman did this to a Holocaust survivor.
Disgusting.
But
Yeah.
I don't know, let's be real. She's like 1 in a million of con artists and scammers out there. I mean, she got caught, which is great. I mean, but what makes her so different?
She got caught and she got prosecuted, which every prosecution helps to set a precedent. Every
It does
prosecution
make a
helps to
statement. I could see it.
Go preach.
But the
Go,
difference
Johnny.
is
Go with that.
no, okay. So I can see how it makes a statement to the gold diggers of the world, but she's not what
make
gold
no
diggers
statement.
in my generation look like.
Why
Like
you keep talking about? Why y'all keep talking about how she looks?
No.
It's a huge reason.
I'm trying to understand how you guys
reason.
keep talking about how she looks.
I mean,
I said she was
okay,
beautiful.
'cause
You did say she was beautiful, but you did talk about how she looked, and you're being
she's
sarcastic.
attractive in
Clearly,
her own right. She is not. She does not look like our age. First of all, I don't know. She just looks older. She looks like a different
actually,
era.
she
and
looks
she's
kind of
just a
young to
horrible
me.
person.
I don't know. She looks kind of young.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
she looks like she's in her early 30s.
She's in her mid-30s.
Oh, she is actually in her mid 30s. Okay, that's the actual age.
Okay.
Yeah, I mentioned
was
that
giving
in the intro. She's 36 years
37.
old.
Not that I wasn't paying
This is
attention
all
to you,
I'm
Rob,
saying.
but I didn't.
Love you, man.
I just feel like somebody at this age is not setting an example for all the real gold diggers, because gold diggers go as young as in their teens at these days. So it's not setting an example,
Said no.
but and then also this is kind of a different example, because why would you try to finesse a Holocaust survivor? Like, that's evil. A survivor
Yeah,
of the Holocaust.
that's just context. That's an additional
That's
detail. That's
evil.
metadata. It's an 87-year-old man
No.
that she siphoned
Real gold
$2.8 million
diggers.
for. Go
Yeah.
after
No,
money.
I think they go after the money, but they also
This is
know
not
they're
setting a
going after like
precedent.
sleazeball people too. Like it's kind of that scenario. They'll go after people that have money, of course, but are not victims. Like they're not trying to victimize you in a way. I don't know.
There are way too many scammers who are making way too much money for this to set any kind of precedence for anybody. They are making millions of dollars. I think it's $1 billion
crazy.
industry scamming, if
Oh,
not more. It might be $1
absolutely.
trillion. I don't know, but they make. There is a ridiculous amount of money being made off of scamming. This sets no
believe that.
precedence. Matter of fact, she's not even going to be able to repay anybody. I think she got like a $2 million judgment or something like that. She's not going to be able to pay that. So what
That's
difference does it make? So
She's losing 5 years of her life.
4 years
these
and
are
2
significant.
months, and then we're not even talking about if she gets like good behavior or something like that.
but it's jail time. It
That's not
is
enough.
significant.
Hey,
It
this
really
ain't gonna
is.
make no effect.
I agree with you, Johnny. That's not enough. But I think that this is a shot across the bow. I think that we need to see more judgments like this because there
Sure.
are horrible people who take it. I mean, you know, I'd like to see a high profile case. Someone like Kevin Federline back in the day taking the fall. That would have been freaking amazing. Something like that.
Kevin
Heather
Federline.
Mills, Paul
What is the
McCartney.
reference?
Right?
I don't understand the reference.
Oh, K-Fed? Gold digger, man. He was after.
Oh, he was definitely a gold digger.
Yeah,
Okay,
he
that's
was
what you're talking.
pretty-
So
Yeah.
you're just translating him
I'm
directly
just
to
saying,
being a
like,
gold
oh
digger.
yeah,
Okay.
like
Okay, so you're saying
absolutely.
gold diggers in general. I'm thinking, okay, so I feel like
Oh,
gold
heck
diggers will
yes.
never go away then. That's never, because
Oh
that's
no,
a whole.
I'm not saying.
But she scammed him, right? I mean, it wasn't just as simple as gold digging.
No, there
Yeah,
was
she
wire
definitely
fraud and
Yeah.
stuff involved. Yeah.
Yeah, so
But she's
Yeah,
she's scamming his
she
money.
pretended to be in companionship with him, and that wasn't the case. So
No, she was in
I feel bad
companionship
for
with
him.
him while she was taking his money.
It was
You know,
fake.
I was gonna make a similar point to Jacqueline Robinson. She says it's an example of elder abuse, and she's despicable. George Fournier
Yes.
says, "I have to screen my dates more carefully as I age." But my mother-in-law. I mean, I just think. Well, I think they need to. I think older people need to protect themselves in general. But
Yes,
my mother-in-law,
they
bless her
do.
heart, she does things sometimes that I just like, really. I mean, just I mean, she'll get those emails and she'll get those messages, and people will call her and talk to her about her bank account, and then we find out later that she gave out some information she shouldn't have given out, and we're like,
Oh
you
my
gotta
goodness.
stop doing that. Please stop doing that.
Yeah, they do that.
You know
What
what?
is that?
You have to turn her on to Pierogi's Scammer Payback channel on YouTube because they do entire tutorials and breakdowns to help protect people.
Yeah.
And they
Oh,
absolutely
okay.
recognize that older people are a target demographic, and they do some great
They are.
videos, got some amazing content. Scammer Payback.
Yeah. I don't know. And I don't know. We tell her over and over again what not to do and what to look for.
Yeesh.
And it doesn't matter. I mean, if somebody, I guess, sounds good enough on the phone, sounds like a bank person, or sounds like this, we're gonna cut off.
Easy.
We're gonna cut off your electric unless you give us this, that, and the other.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's easy for us to sometimes
create a
we get
crisis.
scammed.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get scammed,
But
but we
she's
catch
definitely getting
on,
targeted. But
yeah.
she does decently. But once in a while, she'll give away some information she shouldn't have given away. We're like, oh my god.
Lies, shenanigans.
Yeah,
This is
you gotta
truth,
watch her.
lies, shenanigans.
This is some shenanigans. Lock her
Shenanigans,
up.
but it's not making a precedent. Ain't nothing happening. These scammers,
don't
these
feel-
gold diggers, all of this, they're gonna keep getting away with what they've been getting
Yeah.
away with for all these years. It's not gonna stop
just
just
gotta
because
smarten
this
up.
woman went to the jail and
Lock them up.
no.
Lock them up when you
Yeah.
catch them. Lock them up.
We just gotta
Alright.
be smarter.
All right, let's get into our next topic.
Truth, lies, shenanigans.
All right, I am talking librarians. Yes, librarians. They were on the brink of being put on Arkansas's most wanted list for handing out books like Huckleberry Finn or To Kill a Mockingbird to minors. They would have faced criminal charges for providing minors with materials deemed harmful under new law Act 372 in Arkansas. But a federal judge stepped in, temporarily blocked the law, which is great. But had the law gone into effect, it would have held librarians and bookstore owners criminally liable for knowingly making certain harmful books available to minors. The banned books are books that, quote, appeal to a prurient interest in sex, lack serious literal, scientific, medical, artistic, or political value, and be patently offensive under community standards. This was the law. Now, the hold is temporary and the ruling is still subject to appeal, so who knows? Still might happen. And of course, this is spearheaded by Republicans, and the law was signed by former Trump spokesperson Sarah Huckabee Sanders. But let me ask, Republicans' whole platform is about small government when it comes to public transit, student loans, healthcare. but they're fine with big government when it comes to jailing people for reading certain books, abortions, restricting voting rights, policing classroom discussions on sexual orientation. I mean, does this tell us that the whole platform is really about control, or is it something else? I'm going to start with you, Robbie.
So this is happening in the USSR. The USA.
USSR.
Because we're banning books to control ideology, to suppress questioning. One of the most egregious ones that I came across was a children's series called Captain Underpants.
Oh,
I read
really?
this series with my kids. And
I love Captain Underpants.
Right? So it's just accusations that the main character is being disrespectful to authority, inappropriate humor. In the 12th book created an increase in censorship because one of the main characters, Harold, turns out to be gay. Okay, well, guess what? I was reading these books to a kid who turned out to be gay. Great. He had a character that he could identify with in the story. Go, that's me. I haven't told anybody yet, but that's like me. That's amazing. He's never told me anything like that, but I think it's so important for the children to see themselves in that literature. That representation really matters, right?
Absolutely.
Because it normalizes them. And I think that's absolutely wonderful. It
was the same thing for me with Black literature.
It's really funny to me that under the parameters, the criteria that they use to ban books, that the one book that they never want to bring up is the Bible. Because
your favorite
they use
book.
this as their moral guideline. This is where they're getting their values to then persecute and remove other books. So it makes me laugh because, oh, come on, like the Bible contains so many passages that depict violence.
They're making up their own laws.
Actually, yeah, if you want to go back to their, let me go back to these quotes we're talking about. Let me go back to these quotes when it talks about sexual activity, prurient,
incest. Yeah,
yep.
There's plenty of that in the Bible. Yeah.
It lacks, if it lacks serious literary, scientific, medical, artistic, or political value, or
I take my snake advice on a regular basis. Patently
offensive under community standards. Bible,
genocide isn't offensive. Come on,
I agree
exactly.
I mean,
but the Bible is a book
very
that's
dangerous.
Say it again, Johnny. What were you saying? I didn't hear you, Johnny. What did you say? I want to hear what you just said, Johnny.
No, I was just saying that I think the reason they keep the Bible is because besides their own agendas, I think the Bible, out of all the books, is one that can be interpreted differently, and that's why there's so many opinions on it, and people read it and take it probably literally, or they take it as
from a literary perspective alone, from the content, Johnny. It contains murder, it contains genocide, it contains incest. It contains themes that are completely inappropriate for children and young readers.
That's true.
They lack the critical thinking tools to properly go through this. They lack the historical context and knowledge to properly go through this. It's a dangerous book to expose children. It's more dangerous than most of these books that I see on the banned list. The US has almost 1,500 books on their banned list. That's
I actually didn't know that.
Some of them are just, it's ridiculous. Yeah. And a lot of it is based on anti-LGBT sentiment. Most of the books on that ban list is because there are queer characters or queer themes.
What do you think, Johnny?
Yeah, right. No, I was going to go, that's a good point, because I was going to say that it seems like they always try to act like a hero. Like, we're trying to protect the kids from weird media. But it's like your real agenda is you want to protect them from discovering sexuality. And that's why their real target is like books about sexuality and things like that. And basically what we're going through, LGBTQ, like they want to ban that type of theology. But I think that regulating books isn't necessarily a bad thing because, like Rob said, the fragile minds of teenagers and young adults, say they read a book on sexual assault, or they read a book on like harming yourself or suicide. I think that
teenagers is different than young readers.
Minors
and up, minors. To me, tweens and up. When you develop critical thinking tools and you are living in the world, you are aware of these themes. You may not be very familiar with them, but they are on your periphery. You've heard someone talk about it. You've seen it in
Oh yeah,
TV.
yeah,
You've seen it in movies.
yeah.
You've read about it
But the law was for
somewhere.
minors, which includes teens, tweens.
Yeah. And it's ridiculous because
But
as they're developing their critical thinking, they need to be exposed to these ideas. That's when they need to be exposed to them.
Well, go ahead, Gianni.
I think they should be exposed to the ideas, but when it comes to certain books, that's why I said regulating. You shouldn't get rid of the idea. Like, you should never not hear about self-harm or sexual assault. You should know that those things exist.
But they're not
say I'm
necessary
reading
for
a
children,
book,
is what you're saying.
they're not they're not necessary for children, first of all, no. But past a certain age. But I do think as a teenager, you should kind of be slowly put into that, because there's certain books that I read that I feel like traumatized me. I'm not gonna lie, like certain books as a fragile mind, and if say you're already on the verge of suicide, I don't know, we could say that, right?
Mhm,
I don't
sure.
know. Okay, say you're on the verge of suicide as a teenager, you have a weird lifestyle, and you're just on the verge of suicide, and you read a book about a kid who committed suicide. You know what I mean? Like, you don't
You're
know
saying
what
it
kind
put
of
you on
state
that.
that can send somebody in.
I mean, but you don't
And
know
I
with
feel
any
like
type of
it's
book,
the same
though.
as games, and the same as movies, like watching certain movies that you shouldn't be watching, and listening
But you don't know
and
with
playing
any
certain games.
book. You don't know with any movie how somebody's going to react or respond to it. So
Or
I
interpret
don't
it.
know. I feel you,
No.
Gianni, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't know.
I remember
I think they should be
I think it was
regulated.
grade 4, grade 5. We had a classmate whose teenage brother committed suicide. And the lesson that we got from the priest during the service was that AC/DC was horrible music that led to the devil and horrible ideas.
I mean, well, it could.
So
I can't.
I would have
can't vouch
appreciated.
for- I
So
cannot
I
vouch
would have
for this.
appreciated
Then
reading a book that dealt with the topic of suicide, because it would have helped me understand it, to be more empathetic towards my friend who lost his brother in the most tragic, violent manner possible.
Yeah. All right, here's my
So
thoughts.
there is value to those books and exposing children to those ideas. Death is a part of life, and unfortunately, deleting oneself is something that happens in every family unit.
Yeah. But the question I have is, you know, these law, who gets to decide what's harmful or not? You know, these are such broad definitions. Who's making those decisions? Who's making the call on what our kids can and can't read? History has shown us time and time again that when you ban books, it's a slippery slope. I mean, To Kill a Mockingbird was banned for its portrayal of racial injustice, and 1984 banned for its critique of the government and totalitarianism. And, you know,
Right.
but like Rabi said, these books challenged us, made us think, and ultimately made us a better society, I think. And then and let's not forget, there was a time when slave owners created a separate slave Bible, removing references to slavery and uprising, and, you know, trying to attempt to control their slaves, because they knew the words have power and the power of ideas, and they did everything they could to suppress that power. So they didn't give them the Bible that Robbie was talking about. They gave them a watered down Bible to allow them to be continuously controlled. I mean, Robbie was saying, you know, like the Bible has been manipulated over time to guide people a certain way. And words have those powers. So when we aren't able to hear alternative thoughts, alternative thinking, you know, then, you know, I will say, Gianni, you know, protecting our kids is important. There are some themes that are not good for children, right? But the thing is, the person that needs to control that narrative is parents, not lawmakers. Parents need to be doing that. I mean, if you're going to be a lawmaker, maybe you make it easier for parents. Sure, go out and do a PG-13 type thing, PG, you know, R-rated, and you rate the books like you do with movies and like you do with video games. At least it's a guide for parents to make decisions. And then, yeah, you can say, hey, you know, you can't give R-rated books. You can't sell R-rated books to a 10-year-old. Okay, I get it. Makes sense.
Yeah.
because that theme is not
Yeah.
necessarily good for them. So, I mean, there could be a balance to that, but banning books outright and holding people responsible for whatever they decide is harmful. Nah, that's BS right there.
I don't believe in the absolute of either. I don't believe you should like completely ban certain books like you should, like they were doing, and I don't think you should like just all information. We should just take it in and filter it because some people can't handle it, and we've seen the effects of people not handling certain media. So,
The
but
government
I think
definitely
there
shouldn't
is
be
a
the one
sense of
controlling it.
balance. No, get them out of here.
The government shouldn't be controlling it. Parents should be
No.
controlling it. There's some really great comments online. We've got
Yeah.
Jacqueline Robinson. These people aren't well. They want a permanent underclass and a theocracy. Sarah Huckabee Sanders is ignorance on steroids. It's all part of a larger platform to keep young people ignorant. Keep in mind that she just enacted a law lowering the age for children to work in dangerous jobs. George Fournier, the world has gone mad. Jose, we are heading towards a society full of dullards. Dullards.
Yeah.
Is that a Canadian word? Dullards.
Dullards? Does that mean?
I mean, I know what
No,
it
no.
means, but
I'm pretty sure it has its origins in the UK. Pretty sure.
Dullards. All right. Is this truth, lies,
Lies,
shenanigans?
shenanigans.
This is shenanigans. I think.
Shenanigans.
This
Easy.
is truth. It's scary truth, but absolutely born of shenanigans.
This is ridiculous.
Absolutely born of shenanigans.
They're trying to lock up librarians. Oh God.
No, they're trying to lock up ideas, Johnny. They're trying to suppress ideas.
Good
Good
one.
point.
Control thought.
Good one, Robbie. That's very true. Very true. All right. Got another topic. We got to go a little quick on this one, though. But let's talk about it. Switch gears. So we're moving from laws against books to talking about the people making those laws.
Truth, lies, shenanigans.
And when I'm talking about people making those laws, we're talking about Senators and Dianne Feinstein and Mitch McConnell, of course, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, are seasoned, aged lawmakers. So recent events have raised questions about their ability to serve effectively. Feinstein's been struggling with health issues, and this past week, Mitch McConnell was caught talking, and he completely froze mid-sentence during a news conference. Let me share that.
Lord.
Afternoon, everyone. We're on a path to finishing the NDA this week. It's been good bipartisan cooperation and a string of
And he just has a blank stare right now.
My goodness. So sad.
Completely blank stare.
Okay, Mitch? Anything else you want to say, or should we just go back to your office? Do you want to say anything else to the press?
He seems to come back a little bit.
He's still kind of disoriented.
But he is disoriented.
You see him grabbing onto the post for the silk rope for stability also.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this has thrust the issue of aging in office into the spotlight. It's got us asking, when should a member of Congress step down? And who gets to make that call? Is it the member of Congress or who else? Now, we all know age can bring valuable knowledge, experience, leadership, wisdom. But my question, is there an age where that no longer matters? Is there a point where the scales tip? Gianni, I know you've been pretty vocal about this in the past. Why don't you start us off?
Yeah, because I told you before, I like older people because I just feel like it's one, a tradition, and two, I think there's a lot of wisdom with older people. But I don't have it gets so tricky with politics because I feel like there's not a certain age. In the article, it brought a good point when it said people age differently. So one's age doesn't determine their ability. That's a really good point. That's probably the biggest point that I can make too. because Mitch McConnell is like clearly a mess. No offense, because I don't like, he's clearly not doing well, but somebody else his age could be sharp as a whip. Like they may never be in that
Yeah,
situation.
Bernie Sanders is pretty sharp for his age.
Kinda. But I think that when we start I think that when we start seeing obvious signs, that's so vague though. This system needs something more targeted, like maybe mental cognition tests. I don't know. I don't know. Something where we do annual tests, and if they're slipping behind on tests, then we can start absolving their responsibilities. I don't know. I think there should be a system that at a certain age they should start to get tested and see if they still are fit to run. It's insulting though to say that they're not. It's insulting to them because they want to.
What do you think, Rob?
I can appreciate what you're putting down, Johnny. It's insulting, but I mean, there are restrictions in any job profession that you take on. You reach a point, either you can't fulfill the needs that the job requires, or you just don't meet the requirements to do. I think that there should be. We've talked about this so many times. There really should be an age restriction for someone who is serving in office, because we know that it's not an easy profession. It's not an easy calling. It takes its toll on these people. We see them age tremendously over the course of their careers.
But what's the
and
age,
to
Rob?
see,
You said there's an age limit. What's
What
the age
age
limit?
do
How
you
do you
think?
how do you
Yeah.
define the
you know
right
what?
age?
Then for
Because
that, I
there
would
is
look
value
at,
in
I would,
value in being
absolutely.
older with wisdom and
75.
experience.
75.
So advisory committees, advisory committees and panels can be made up of seasoned older politicians. But those who are actively writing laws need to have a foothold in the younger generation as well as the older generation, because there's that wisdom and that ability to grow simultaneously, to be open to new ideas. When you reach a
Okay.
certain age, we know that you become closed off and set in your ways. I don't know what that magic number is, Neo, but as far as having a clean, healthy bill of health, we would have to go to the medical experts and look at what the averages are to determine what that baseline is. But it would be getting that baseline. But like you said, there are definitely older politicians who are smart as a whip, who might do as well in serving. But you know what? If they're serving in advisory panels and committees,
That's a good idea.
subcommittees,
I hadn't actually
Yeah, I
that
like
means
considered
that
they
that.
idea
are
too.
they are actively involved and they're help steering us in the right direction. And when they lose their capacity to
Mhm.
contribute to that process, it's easier to just move them along because these aren't elected positions.
Yeah. I actually hadn't considered advisory committees. I think that's a good idea, actually.
Yeah,
Anyway,
to implement.
so I agree. Age and
I agree.
experience, they're valuable. And, senior members of Congress have been through a lot, seen a lot. They've been through political cycles. They can step in and they know what to do. Biden has been in, the political world for so long. He could step in and be an excellent president because he's been through it. He's seen presidents come and go. He knows what's involved in being a president. And they provide
Vice
stability, especially in a climate like this where, it's pretty unstable. But, these old politicians in general, and I'm not just talking about the really old ones, they're just not in touch with the concerns and priorities of this younger generation. With rapid changes in technology, culture, society, let alone, they don't even understand most of them. I mean,
What? Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene know how to use social media. They're great at it.
Horrible.
I'm not talking
they're just
Republicans, I'm talking about
idiots.
old Republicans.
Old.
And then,
I mean,
and
they
then,
should
and
have
then when
like
their
a
career,
shadow.
go ahead.
Like somebody should shadow
Oh,
them,
that's
like a
another
big
good
brother.
idea. That's
kind of
another good
thing.
idea. I was watching a show that they do stuff like that, but I think
Yeah,
it's
that
called
was good.
Silo. Silo is a good, yeah. Anyway,
Oh.
but it's a good show on Apple Plus TV, by the way. Um, but then you have these career politicians where they're more concerned about just making sure they have a job and that they can make their money in their job rather than actually, serving the people. So that's why I think I hear you on age limits, but I don't know that that's fair. I'd rather term limits, actually, which is even a bigger push because, you know, these people have been around for 30, 40 years, since the 19 somethings, since the 20th century, and now they're still there, 40, 50 years later. I could see term limits. We can have some longer term limits for, say, senators and representatives than we do for president. President's 8 years? Yeah, we could have some longer term limits, maybe 20 years as a term limit. And that just, make sure that we get, I don't know about an age limit, but you kind of you convinced me a little bit. You convinced me a little bit with
Interesting comment
I
from
think there
George.
should be age.
Let's hear George's comment.
Yeah, so in Canada, judges have mandatory retirement at age 75. So it should be the same for a politician, because a judge is appointed for their cognitive capacities to be able to
literally.
discern what is right. So,
I think 75 is actually a reasonable age.
It is
Isn't it?
reasonable.
But I'm trying to live to 150, right?
I know.
That means that's 75 years that I could not be in this position. And that's not.
Well, you can do like humanitarian work.
My retirement will run out by then. I mean, unless I make some millions somewhere. Even then, I'm not sure $1 million would carry me along. But all right, let's get
You'll survive.
Let's get these comments. So, Paulette, what an uncomfortable feeling to be watching that. It was uncomfortable, I have to admit. I have to agree with you.
Yeah, it was awkward.
As you said, George Fournier, he says there should be age limits serving in office. And Jacqueline Robinson said McConnell and Feinstein have had serious ailments in recent months. It is clear their cognitive abilities are impaired. Biden is iffy, but he's still an effective politician and negotiator. Nancy Pelosi, and I totally agree, Nancy Pelosi did the right thing in training younger lawmakers to step into leadership roles. And now we have a new head of the Democratic Party because Nancy Pelosi decided to take a step down. But she did extremely well while she was in there with her experience and leadership. I don't know. So
yeah, Pelosi.
All right. Well, thank you for your comments, everyone. Is this truth, lies, shenanigans?
It's the truth. I mean,
true, baby. It's true.
If they have age limits on young people, you have to.
They're too old, people.
Age.
They're too old. It's
Cringe
too old.
AF. Cringe AF.
I mean, I'm looking at Feinstein. I see her picture, and then I'm looking at, and even if you look at Mitch McConnell, he's lost a lot of weight in recent months. Yeah. He's not looking good.
I don't
Things
like
are not looking
that.
good.
It's declining.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into our game show. We'll lighten it up a little bit. All right. All right. So we have a fun game show. We're going to try to make this work. We don't have a lot of time, so we're going to do one round, and then we're just going to see who does the best. All right. Today's game is rhyme time. This was suggested by the lovely Gianni Storm. We'll spin the wheel. It'll give us each a word or phrase to rhyme. Then we'll spin again, and it'll give you a topic or subject to rhyme about. All right? We'll judge each other, and if you get 2 yeses, you get a point. Person with the most yeses gets the final thought for the show. All right? Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with Rob B. You're going to set the stage for us. All right, Rob B. You've got to rhyme cross my ocean.
That's easy.
The words cross my ocean.
What?
Well, at least ocean. Talking about Netflix.
Oh my.
Oh.
Rhyme
Wait, so do you
ocean. That's a tough word to rhyme, actually.
You don't have to rhyme the sentence, just that first part.
Cross my ocean.
Use the sentence.
Is the rhyme.
Yeah. Use the
Cross
sentence.
my ocean is the rhyme. Yeah.
Use the sentence, but ocean would be the rhyming word. Yeah, about Netflix. All right. Ready?
All right, man.
All right, go.
Netflix and chill. What is the rhyme? I want to give you all of my time. But woman, cross my ocean. Make you Got nothing.
Oh, I had one
Okay,
for
you
you.
were getting- you were
Man, I was
getting
feeling you.
there.
I was going to say, make you feel the motion. Oh.
I know. I thought he was gonna say "lost my motion" or something like that. That was gonna
I
be
thought you
good.
said, make you feel the motion. All right, so wrong answer. No good,
That's
Robbie.
the part.
Wrong answer.
No good, Robbie. All right, Gianni, we're going to see if you can do it better. Let's see if you can do it better. Show them how it's
That
done,
was
Gianni.
good.
This was your idea. We're going to see how you do. Actually, I should probably go next. All right. Oh, you got an easy one. Rhyme wheels.
Okay.
Wheels. And you're going to talk about stretching. Wheels. Talking
Oh,
about stretching.
okay.
Wheels is the rhyming word. You got to
Gotcha.
rhyme
I
it
get
somewhere in your thing, and you're talking about stretching. You ready?
Yes.
Go.
I'm doing yoga stretches. You know I got the feels. I'm in my heels. That's it.
Wait, you didn't
Wheels,
rhyme?
wheels.
Wait, say
Wait,
it
I
again.
thought I.
Well,
You said wheels? I didn't hear
thought
you say wheels. What'd you say? What was the rhyme again?
Oh, I thought I just rhymed.
feels
Okay,
and
I get
feels
it.
and feels and heels.
But you
So,
didn't say
I
the
think
word
Johnny did as well
wheels.
as I did. She did as well as I did.
Which is wrong.
Wrong.
I thought it was right. I thought that was the point. You just rhyme the word. You don't say the word in the.
You
Okay.
rhyme with the word.
The word.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I almost
You
got it.
did
I almost
right.
got it.
Mine was a train wreck. Yours was a minor derailment.
All right, let me see what I can do. I don't know if I can do this. This is tough.
Video,
This is one of our
tough.
toughest games, man.
This is fun.
Okay, I gotta rhyme Hulu.
Ooh.
Okay, Hulu. I gotta rhyme Hulu
Ooh, let me do that.
about hide and seek. Okay.
Hide and Seek and Hulu. Hulu.
Okay, I don't got it. All right.
I don't got it.
Okay. All right. I'm. This is tough. Good Lord.
See? Oh yeah,
Okay.
the pressure's on.
I'm watching Hulu and some Star Trek with my man Sulu,
Ooh,
and we're
Nice.
playing hide and seek with my nephew who's on fleet.
ooh.
I don't know. I'm just.
I mean, you beat me and Rob. You beat me and Rob.
I
You
don't know.
completed a rhyme.
You guys are
completed a
judging. I
rhyming
don't know. You
scheme.
guys are judging.
You know.
All
Okay.
right. So I get it. All right. So that means I win the game. Man, that was tough. I gotta practice that before I come back. Do that
We
again.
have officially
Right.
embarrassed ourselves.
I'm embarrassed. That was horrible.
It was hard. No.
Don't put me on 8 Mile. All right, let's get some shout outs. And Gianni.
No, honestly, shout out to the rappers. Shout out to rappers and artists. Shout out to the rhymers. Yeah, for real, because it's a real art out there. So shout out to
Especially,
you guys.
Yes.
Especially when they're doing freestyle. Shoot. I
Yeah,
don't know how they do it. I mean, some people, they like, Anyway.
really good.
All right, Robbie Rock.
Circling back to some of the stuff I said at the intro, just a shout out to anyone that's coping with the loss of a loved one. Let your inner circle know how you feel. It's okay to not be okay.
All right.
Yeah.
And my shout out, of course, is to my lovely wife. I have to close out the night with a shout out to Mel. So thankful to have you in my life. I love you very much, always and forever. All right, that is officially all the time we have for today's show. I'd like to thank you all for joining us. Hope you learned something, gained a new perspective, maybe had some laughs with us with our terrible rhyming.
A hot mess.
Look for us live again Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and look for our official audio episode this Friday and every Friday on Apple Podcasts, Pods Network, PODZ, or anywhere you listen to your podcast. My final thought for the day is me, and I just want to say rest in peace to Pee Wee Herman,
Oh my
Paul
god.
Rubens, who died this past week. I don't know if
The
you guys
Sheen.
did you used to watch it, Rob B? Did you used to watch Pee Wee Herman?
yes.
Yeah.
Of
So
course I did.
sad. So sad. So really sad. Rest in peace, Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Hermans. We love you. Except for his little snafu. Robbie knows what I'm talking about.
Close the show.
All right. Thank you, Robbie Rock, Gianni. But most importantly, we need to thank you for listening to our shenanigans each and every week. I want to thank all our commenters out there as well. Have a great week, everyone.